And this right here, this guy that Colorado just picked up from Tennessee, the dude's a straight up monster. I mean, come on now, look at this dude. That don't look like no freshman to me. This guy looks like a grown man. He looks like he's got 2 mortgages. And you mean to tell me Coach Prime is already stealing guys like this out of the SEC? He's putting the rest of the country on notice. Well, you know the drill. Another night, another prime time video. I'm just going to let you know up front. Number 1, we're getting straight into things. And number 2, get you a favorite snack you like to eat when you watch a video, because it's going to be a good one. Or maybe it's not a snack. Maybe you're just like myself. Before you sit down and eat your meal or your food you're about to eat, you got to turn on a YouTube video. Now, earlier today, we talked about how Coach Prime finally responded to all these players leaving. He finally spoke up about it because in reality, he wasn't saying too much. He was kind of laying low, but then he came out on Instagram and said some stuff, and he also went on the Pat McAfee podcast show and said, it's no way we can put new furniture in this beautiful home if we don't clean out the old furniture. I already talked all about that. I told you guys straight up. I agree 100%. It goes back to the mentality of, hey, you got to tear this thing down to the foundation. Well, guess what he also said? He posted a video on Instagram where he said, I got 3 more guys coming. Now, here's the big question. Who are those 3 guys? Because he didn't clarify. But also in that post, he stated, you can doubt me, but never doubt the God I serve. I wanted to know who is who before we start to let y'all know who coming. I keep receipts. Y'all know I'm from Fort Myers, right? If you're kind of lost and you don't understand it, I get it. There's a lot of stuff going on, but he's pretty much saying, we got some dudes coming in, some Louis coming in, some straight up dogs. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Since he's posted that, he's already added some straight up monsters to the team. That's what I'm going to call them. I'm labeling them as monsters in a good way. These new recruits coming in out of the transfer portal, they look good, man. And it's also kind of funny because everybody's freaking out going, oh, how's he going to replace all these other guys that are entering the portal? And well, he's already kind of doing it. I need y'all to believe me when I say this. He's going to have no problem whatsoever filling up this roster. You better believe that. He's going to fill it up, and I feel like these couple players already joining, it is just the start. There's also another thing I found rather intriguing. A 5-star cornerback who is already committed to Florida State, he's visiting Colorado. Something seems off here. It kind of feels like I've heard of this story before. It kind of feels like deja vu. Oh, wait. That's right, it does feel like deja vu because this has happened before. Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a second. Coach Prime is not, I'm going to repeat this statement, he is not playing around. We got a lot to talk about in tonight's video. And by the way, we're posting this video because in the video we posted earlier today, I said if we can get to 1,500 likes, we'll upload again. And yeah, you guys crushed the like goal again. Big shout out to you guys. And as always, if you're new to the channel, you like the content, consider subscribing. All right, Matt, blah, blah, blah. Shut the crap up. I'm just ready to get into it. So I say shut the crap up. Now without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, I do want to address this. On the video we posted late last night, it's titled, Colorado football is literally falling apart. And in that video, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but that's what we talked about, how the football team, it's falling apart. And I saw a couple of comments where people were saying, Matt, what are you talking about? They're not falling apart. You're the one saying, hey, this is good. I had a lot of people saying, Matt, you're contradicting yourself. What do you mean they're falling apart? You've been backing Deion. And yes, I have, but to those people that think Colorado is not currently falling apart, are you blind? Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing? And I mean this in the most respectful way possible. What else do you call 50 players leaving? That's falling apart. I think the misconception is, and I should have explained this, just because I think Colorado is falling apart and I'm not, that's not my opinion, really, that's a cold hard fact. Just because I say that, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. In this case, it's a good thing. They need to fall apart. That's the first step in this process. This isn't a process where you're going to fix this in 1 or 2 steps. There's like 15 different steps to it, and this is probably step number 1. I guess that's my fault for not communicating that a little better, but I do want to clarify on that. This is so weird. You may never see another situation like this ever again in your life. Because yes, Colorado fans, they're excited about this because it's like, hey, we're moving in the right direction. But to move in that right direction, you're taking steps backwards. It's weird. It goes back to this analogy. Sometimes in life, you got to take 1 step backwards to go 2 steps forward. With that being said, let's get a move on to what you're really here for. What's old Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, whatever you want to call him, up to now? Well, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, there are multiple different phases to this, and I will label this as phase number 2. I think phase number 1 is over. Get out the bums and losers. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Phase number 1 was get the losers and bums out. Plain and simple. We are now in phase number 2. Okay, we've cleared out the bums. We now have plenty of room, plenty of scholarships. Now we bring in the Louis, we bring in the Gucci, whatever you want to call it. We're bringing in the Louis, Gucci, Prada designer, whatever. So yesterday, what happened? Coach Prime put out this message on Instagram, and it kind of felt like a warning shot. At least that's how I interpreted it. Let me read it off to you. Quote unquote, we come and sit back and watch this thing unfold right before your eyes. To all of our true Buffs fans, we love you and appreciate you. To the rest, stay tuned and keep talking, and we see you, and quote unquote, we still coming. Right after that, what happens? He goes on the Pat McAfee show and says, hey, it's no way we can put new furniture in this beautiful home if we don't clean out the old furniture. Going back to phase number 1, let's get the bums out. Let's get the losers. And well, what do you know? Late last night, after he put out those quotes, after he said that, breaking news comes out that Florida State's linebacker, he's going to Colorado. If you don't know who this young man is, he goes by the name of Brendan Gant. And as you can see right here, he played in 43 games at FSU, so you're getting some veteran experience in. He had 112 tackles and 4.5 of those being for loss. Now, I am not going to sit up here and lie to you guys. This isn't some freak athlete. This isn't some top linebacker in the country. But for Colorado, remember, we're talking about Colorado, a 1-11 sorry football team. This is a good, if not great, pickup. I got to remind some of y'all that are used to me talking about SEC, Big 12, and Big 10 football. This guy would probably be an average player for an Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma. But for Colorado, this could be one of their best players. And the move makes a ton of sense. At Florida State, he was barely playing, but at Colorado, he will play a lot. So that was pickup number 1, and what I'm going to label as one of the domino effects to what's about to happen and come. To go along with that, earlier today, news came out that Tennessee's defensive lineman, Amari McNeil, he's transferring to Colorado. So there we go. We're getting a guy from Florida State. We're getting a defensive lineman from Tennessee. They're bulking up. And this right here, this guy that Colorado just picked up from Tennessee, the dude's a straight up monster. 6'4", 285 pounds as a freshman. Yeah, that's a monster, at least in my book. Now, will he play like a monster at Colorado? I guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, come on now, look at this dude. That don't look like no freshman to me. This guy looks like a grown man. He looks like he's got 2 mortgages. And you mean to tell me Coach Prime is already stealing guys like this out of the SEC? He's putting the rest of the country on notice. And I know what all Colorado naysayers are going to say. Well, Matt, this guy, he wouldn't have ever played at Tennessee, so who cares? It's not that big of a pickup. And to that, if you are one of those people trying to say that, I just think you sound like a hater, period, the end. But also, why don't you check this out? This has nothing to do with the transfer portal, but a 5-star cornerback going by the name of Charles Lester III, he has told recruiting experts that he is taking an official visit to Colorado. Meanwhile, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm 99% sure on this, he's currently committed to Florida State. What do y'all think about that? I think we've seen this story before. If Florida State fumbles another 5-star cornerback, I don't know what to say. They should just give up. Continuing along here, keeping it with defensive backs, cornerbacks at Florida State, a guy that just entered the transfer portal that goes by the name of Omarion Cooper, he's looking at going to Colorado. It just makes total sense at this point for a Florida State defensive back to enter the portal and then go to Colorado. That's where most people got him projected going at this current moment in time. Is he for sure going there right now? We don't know that. But I would go out on a limb here and say Colorado's definitely the front runners to land this kid. And remember, Coach Prime has already posted a video earlier today teasing that they got a bunch of guys on the way. But in that video, he also stated, hey, I can't say too much, but just know they coming. I was reading some of the comments on Coach Prime's Instagram account, and somebody said, I've already spoken about this, it's true. Can't wait for the 30 or... Sorry. Can't wait for the 30 for 30 about how Coach Prime either revolutionized college football or this was a huge flop. I'm sorry I was laughing so much, but... that is just straight up facts. This is either going to go really, really, really good. We're going to be telling our kids in 20 years from now how legendary it was. Coach Prime takes over Colorado, guts the program, and wins 10 national titles in a row. Or, on the flip side, he's going to get fired in 4 years, and it's going to go down as one of the worst hires of all time. No in-betweens. Y'all know me. I would love to talk about this some more, but I'm currently trying to keep up with the NFL draft. I got to stay up all night, do a lot of research for that, because we're going to talk about that tomorrow. And more than likely, you guys know, we're going to talk about this tomorrow as well. Let me know your thoughts down below. But, Robert Billy!